Welcome to another live stream. I am Keith. This is Life Journey Productions Studios, and let's get Skycam off the air there. Welcome to another stream. We're going to change glasses because I can't quite see the prompter or my I need to go to Costco and get my prescription updated. I got the shot a little wide tonight, which is perfectly fine because I want to talk about a couple things right here above my logo. So hopefully tonight we won't have the audio drop out like last week. I apologize for that, but you know, when you're live, things happen. So I am Keith. This is Life Journey Production Studios, and I'm excited to have you with me in tonight's live. It is July. The month is flying by as fast as I can even fathom, and I can fathom a lot. But it is going to be August pretty soon. And so we'll have Tuesday next week live, and then I will be gone for one Tuesday. I might have a video that will pop up on Tuesday night. I'm working on that. I did a new welcome video this week that's going to be on my channel. I haven't done a welcome video to my YouTube channel or my website for 5.5 years. I don't know why I haven't, but I did do that video this week. It's about a minute long, minute and 4 seconds if you do like the little outro disclaimer at the end. And so that'll be up on my channel. I'm not sure that's going to be super exciting, but it does kind of go into what I'm doing in the studio. As you can see, if you haven't been here with me for a while live, I have done some renovating. I've worked on the studio today. I worked on the studio some last week since we were live together. So again, so tonight we've got a couple things we're going to talk about. We're going to share kind of my research that I've been doing on my new tech desk. And I'll talk about what that is. And you saw it in the still image. I'll pop that back up. Also available for the Elgato key lights. And even though I don't have these two items in here, I have been to Home Depot and I have seen this fold down tech desk, and it's where I spotted it when I was buying some supplies. I still need to get over and get some industrial strength Velcro. I've lost my headphone stand that was glued to my new sound panels, fell down. So again, you know, it's a work in progress. I'm still hiding wires. We're going to talk about that tonight. I'll give you kind of updated tour, give you status on the sign that's going up there, which is taking a while. And then we're also going to talk about what's coming up in the next couple weeks. I do have a poll up tonight. And so if you would take a moment to answer the poll, let me just open it up here and look to see if there's any votes. So the question is, have you ever used a honeycomb grid for lights? So far we have 5 votes, and 40% of you say yes, 60% of you say no. So take a moment to finish that poll, and I will say hi in the chat here in just a minute. So again, we're going to talk about my tech desk plans, why I'm doing the tech desk. You're going to get a chance to give me some insights. I want your opinion. I really do. I kind of just rolled with a handful of people's opinion about the studio renovation. But with the tech desk, I really want to get feedback from the channel. I've got feedback from Shannon, which I will share tonight. If you don't know who Shannon is, that is my lovely wife. We've been married for 44 years. That's right, 44 years. So then we're also going to talk about the honeycomb grids, a video that I have that's in the description already tonight. So I've already given you guys the links. I don't have any Amazon affiliate links in there yet, though I may add some of those later tonight. And then before we look at the chat in my intro tonight, so just bear with me, I will say hi. I just wanted to say I'm sorry about last week. This week I'm trying to monitor the audio a little bit better. I know I have audio now. It says, Keith, check your volume. It seems a bit low. Okay. So shouldn't be super low, but it is what it is. It seems to be going up into the high yellows. So let me bring this up just a little bit with my mouse. And usually what I do is boost it. Let's see, I'm using Rode. So what I'm doing tonight is I'm using the Rodecaster Pro 2, and that's feeding my Rodecaster Video, which is my second switcher tonight. I'm using two switchers combined, the ATEM Mini Extreme ISO, and I'm feeding two of those channels from the Rodecaster Video. What does that mean? Let me go to input number 2 right here. So at input number 2, I can show you that input. I can show you, let's see, I can show you this input. I can show you this input. So I can switch between different cameras because I'm actually using the Rodecaster Video to feed tonight's stream. Well, I'm also using the Rodecaster Audio. Let's take a look at that right now. Let's open up the audio panel and let me go to this view right here, me and my laptop. So there's the audio. So I can bring this up just a little bit. So let me boost this. How are we doing? A little hotter now. So I'm boosting it in Rode because I don't want to boost it inside the ATEM, because in reality, the ATEM then will be using just volume control. I don't know how good that's going to be. So using the Rodecaster Pro 2 and using the Rodecaster Video will help boost the audio. And again, one of the things to understand about audio, just real quickly tonight, is the audio chain is super important. So my microphone, this one right now, and my wireless Go 2, which is hidden behind my shirt, I put it inside tonight. That sounds like this, and it's working tonight. I've charged it, and it is a tiny bit hotter than the SM7B. And then part of the reason the SM7B is I don't like how this sticks all the way out. So I have the microphone a little further away from me. So I'm trying to lean in tonight to give you this wider view, because I have something to talk about right here tonight. You can see I have a light with a grid in it. We're going to talk about grids tonight. We're going to talk about my tech table, what I'm doing with my tech table tonight. We're going to do an updated studio tour to give you an updated look at some of the lights that I've added, and they should be all working. It looks like they all are. And so lots to do, but let's go ahead and say hello in the chat. So let me do this, chat on the air, and let's just go here. Hello. Oh, what's going on here? Chat off the air. That's on me. I did not enable chat over here. So let's do chat on the air, and let's do this again. Hello, Grish is not on the screen. What is going on? There we go. So hello, Grish. It is great to have you, Spokane, Washington. And so it's always good to have people from my local area as well as people from all over the world. And so let me put my glasses away before I crush them tonight on the desk. And they are going in the back case. And we'll just put the back case up here for now. Actually down here. And then I have my other two microphones right here, the Rode Wireless Go 2 and the receiver. I was charging those tonight, so we'll put that away as well down here. I don't have my drives down next to my PC right now, so I have lots of space here to store stuff, and I even have a can of air. So be careful, I'll get you. So with that said, let's continue in the chat. So we said hi to Grish. Gary is here, so it's good to have. Juris Design 6816. It's good to have you. Gary's asking a question, so let's address the question in the room. Question: can you take the Rodecaster Video, run your audio into them, then HDMI output into the ATEM ISO? And that's exactly what I'm doing, Gary. So I applaud you for thinking that through, because that is a workaround. So that's one of the reasons that I've shared this a few weeks ago, that I'm using the Rodecaster Video instead of my other ATEM, if you get behind me right here, right there on the desk is the other ATEM, and that's on my little movable stand. In there, I have my Xbox. I've got my TV receiver. It sends through fiber optic up to the TV, so all the HDMI's come in there. So I've got an Apple TV in there. I have my Xbox in there, and that's it. I'm using an antenna, which is hidden behind the stand right there. And so that's my ATEM Extreme ISO number 2. I have a number 3, and that is getting sold to a previous client. Hopefully that deal will go down in August, and I will be using the excess money of that to put money in a 3D printer pool. And then the other part of it is going to my friend in Las Vegas, who is printing the letters for me. He does a lot of installs with audio, and so he's been very busy. He was in Texas last week. So we'll talk a little bit more about the letters and the backlit sign that's going to go up there, which is not the last thing I need to do in the studio, but there's a very, very small list now of what is left. So, okay. Good to have Hank here from Bluffton, South Carolina. Is it cooled down, and are you guys smoked out in the Carolinas? Because I know Tony and his stream on Saturday, I had to watch it delayed or after it went live because I missed it. Shannon and I got into a conversation about this season that we're in of semi-retirement and making all these transitions. And so by the time I realized the time, I'd missed Tony's stream. So I have watched, I think, 85 to 90% of it now. Really good stream. Go over and check out Tony at Quick Tech Solutions stream. So he's now become one of my 3D printing mentors because he now has a 3D printer. He's had one before. I've never had one. And so he's just one of the guys that I'm listening to intently to see what his experience is with his new Bamboo printer. So if you want to know more about that, get over there and subscribe to Tony's channel. So it's good to have you, Hank, always. Happy birthday. Hank, why don't you put in the chat tonight how young you are? But I want to wish you live tonight a happy birthday. It's belated because your birthday's already come and gone. But man, congratulations. And it's been fun to get to know you both on the stream as well as face-to-face on Zoom many times. So shout out to Hank. Greetings from Lithuania. It's great to have you. David's Heart. So I think you gave us your name last week, but I'm still going to have to work on memorizing that. Keith, check your volume. It seems a bit low. I think we have boosted the volume now, but let me know if it's good. Sounds good, David said. Congrats on 44 years. Yeah, it is quite the accomplishment. But thank you so much. Hopefully we'll have some more people jump on live tonight. I understand it is summer. I went to one of my, how do I say this? When I was selling RVs, I took over a store in Kennewick, Washington. I was selling Pasco, Washington. I was selling in Kennewick and had been selling RVs for many, many years. Never desired to be a manager. I'd done management plenty of times in my life. I just really wanted to focus on selling RVs, and I was using the funds from the RVs not only to take care of the Bennett family, but to expand. I built a recording studio. I helped my son, who's a musician, my firstborn son. And anyway, when I took over this dealership in Pasco, I sat down to meet with all the employees, and to my surprise, one of the employees was a young man named Evan. And I knew his father. In fact, his father was like a guru, a music guru to me, a great artist, great singer. When I had my recording studio and I was mentoring one of the young men that was very talented, was signed by a label, traveled the United States with a rap band. He was also very R&B driven. He did a lot of sampling. He was very gifted. He's one of the 2 reasons why I started my recording studio years ago. I tell you that story to say that I went to Evan's dad is a pastor over in Kennewick, and I went to that church on Sunday and Sunday morning, and I can't even remember why I was telling you that story, but that's what we did on Sunday. And saw Evan there. They took me and sat me in the front row up where the family sits because of my relationship. So I felt incredibly honored. But anyway, going there on Sunday and really curious about their technology and their live stream. I loaned them my lights a number of years back during COVID when they couldn't have people come. They needed to set up a temporary studio. So I loaned them my mobile lights and would go over and run the lights for them on a few Sunday mornings as a favor to Evan, who worked with me together. But his dad is a great musician and just, you know, a real encouragement to me because he's my age, and just to watch him and his passion and his boys now involved in so many things. TJ, their youngest, played drums. Stephen, Evan's younger brother, played guitar. My son is now playing on that team on Sunday morning. I think that's why I was telling you the story. So I like to go over there because I get to see Evan, his wife, Courtney. I get to see Tom, who is an incredible speaker, and not only that, but really gifted musician, and get to see all those, get to see my son and my daughter-in-law, Rachel, Christopher, my son, and it's a lot of fun to get the chance to hang out. And so, so that was Sunday, and it was hot. And it was hot on Friday and even hotter earlier in the week. So I'm just wondering what the temperature is like out there. So let me know what your ongoing temperature is. And then I'm not getting, the chat is doing the same thing again this week that it was doing last week. It is not populating. So let me go back over here. Okay. So something's broken with Aaron Precky's plugin now. Let me pop this out again, and I will copy the link, move this back over here. Yeah, it's interesting that it's just not populating. So I can't see people coming in because it's not working. So I've redone it. So let's try chat on the air now. And let's see, lots of things changed that I did not know. Let's see, David's in the house. Let's see, what's going on here? Chat on the air. Let's try this one more time. Okay, let me copy this chat link one more time. Copy. I don't know why this is not working. Let me know if you guys use the chat plugin, if you've been having issues as well. There it goes. Yeah, it just doesn't seem to be populating. Now it is, but it stopped last 2 weeks and it stopped again tonight. I have it popped out and it's on a monitor in front of me, but it's not populating. But when I look over on my phone, which I determined to leave open tonight so I can see if I'm missing any people popping in the chat. So great to have you. Again, David from Down Under. Hank says, I turned 90 last week on July 15th. The heat has been. Yeah, so congratulations again, Hank, for turning 90. That is I just turned 65, and I know that that's a big landmark. But you turning 90, that is far bigger. And so, yeah, the heat's been terrible for weeks now. Business growth ready. It's cooler this week in the UK than it was last week. Well, good to know. Let me, if you want to share your name, that would be great. So I don't call you business growth ready, but I love that I know your channel. And I do have chat replay. So I'm going to go back and try to see if some of you guys have YouTube channels and make sure I've subscribed to all your channels. It's great to have Doug here. I'm a Doug fan, just to say this again. Doug and I are similar ages, and one of the things cool Doug did years ago is that he had some cool Star Trek tech that was really cool, and that kind of became some common ground. And I love stuff like that. Many of you guys know that I have a whole Batman 1966 collection. It's not in the studio now. I have some Hot Toy figures that are on the shelf right there behind me up there. So those are collector Hot Toy figures. And so Doug's in the house. It's good to have you. Cyber Gizmo, hello. That's DJ Ware. It's good to have you as always. David says 80 degrees here. It's winter. So 80 degrees in the winter in Australia. That's pretty nice. That's kind of like Florida or California weather. Good to have you, Jay. Awesome. Chat's probably broke because of Chrome update. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but thank you. I think it probably is a Chrome update. I don't know if Aaron has to go in and fix that or what. It's not even his plugin originally. He just rewrote some code. But again, I'm using the Chrome extension. So after you download the Chrome extension, then when you pop out the chat in your YouTube channel, it then gives you a link at the top. You copy that link and you paste it into OBS, and OBS lets you display the chat full screen. So all you get is the chat because you set the background inside that plugin. And I have an explanation and a cheat sheet right here on YouTube. So if you type in pop out chat and Keith Bennett, my training series should pop up and you can learn how to pop out chat. Same way, you do it exactly the same way. And I don't know why it's broken, but thank you for the happy birthday. That goes out to Hank and it goes out to me. And my birthday was back on the 25th of June. And I turned 65, the big 6'5". And I'll be talking more about that as summer progresses, not tonight. Gary, have most everyone beat on heat. Skillet, 103 to 114. Yeah, Arizona is hot. And a lot of people in our neck of the woods, right? Washington, Idaho, Montana, they go south in the winter and they go to Arizona, they go to other states, but mostly Arizona. And when I sold RVs, we called them snowbirds because they would fly south to the warmer weather when it snowed. And then they would come back in like early April, maybe March, late March, when it starts getting hot down in Arizona before they get cooked. So about 91 Fahrenheit here in Eastern Washington. I hear it's going to be over 100. Yeah, Grish, how's the smoke up in Spokane? Now, Grish is north of me about 2 hours and 15 minutes or so. I think it's like 175 miles from where I live in the lower part of Washington State. So the east and southern, part of the state. And then obviously Grish is in Spokane, which is kind of north and closer to the border. I'm about 50 minutes from the Idaho border and Washington, about 30 minutes from the Oregon border. So I'm in that bottom section and really close to Walla Walla, which is, a lot of people know Walla Walla from the old cartoons when we were a kid, the wishy-washy water salesman from Walla Walla. I think that was in the Bugs Bunny hour anyway. Michael here. Well, it's good to have you, Michael. Sounds like heel as in shoes. I'll try to process that and get my brain to catch up with what you're saying. Thumbs up, everyone. Yeah, thank you for hitting the thumbs up. Thank you for bringing that up, David. I really appreciate that. And yeah, and then I already hit these, but I popped the chat out again, so it looks like I haven't hit those. So now I have a timer set as well, so the chat goes away after 15 seconds. So this should go away. We'll see if it does. Yep, there it went away. So if I forget, I'm not leaving chat up there. Now, don't ask me how to do that because I don't remember. Somewhere in the process, when I reset up the plugin, there is a spot that you can put in a time. I think it's in OBS actually. So how long it stays on, I believe it is in OBS in the settings. Let me look at this real quick. Where in the world would that be? Actually, you know what? Let's not spend a bunch of time on that. If you know where that is in OBS, let me know in the chat. I really appreciate it. Okay, we're going to say hi here. We call the people like me traveling gray nomads, okay? So here they're snowbirds, David, and down there they're called gray nomads. Okay, that sounds cool. I kind of like that whole idea of nomad. By us, Lithuania global warming is not yet here. Now we have 60 degrees, I think, with 60,8. That looks like Fahrenheit. So 68 maybe degrees Fahrenheit. So cold summer this year. Help. Yeah. And then, hey, from the UK. David, good to have you from the UK. Getting some people from the United Kingdom. That's really great. Have been getting people from Australia for a long time. I've had people pop on the stream. 4 o'clock must be super early. And I appreciate you guys taking your mornings out there to join me. Some of you on the East Coast taking your evenings to join me. I just want you to know once again that I really appreciate it. Okay, so I've waxed eloquent long enough. Let's do this. I'm not sure how eloquent I've waxed, but there we go. Let's go right here. Okay. So many of you guys know that have been following me on my renovation, and that's the studio renovation. When we get the sign up, we're going to do a big unveiling, and I'm going to do before and after photographs. I'm working on a video. So sometime once I get that last project done, and just to give you an update, I'm still waiting for the letters. They all have to be printed. They're going to fill that whole space. And I did say I was going to bring the stencil tonight. Let me look real quick to see if that's in the hallway. Got my other mic on so you guys can listen to me walking out the door of my studio. Let's move that. Probably can't now because I've left. Looking for my stencil. Here it is. If you can still hear me, I'm coming back to the studio. I just remembered I said I would bring this week. So if you couldn't hear me in the garage, I went in the garage to grab the stencil. I'm 4 seconds away. And there I am. Right there. So this is the stencil. Got audio, that's cool. So you can see this is the right-hand side. It says Journey, and then that's the size of the productions. This is the size of the letters. And so each of these letters have to be cut out. Here is the other side. And so I'm going to have my light bulb. So let me hold this up. So hopefully this is going to work, but that's about how big it's going to be. And it's not taped together right now, and I'm going to get a higher tech one to put the letters up. But this was to make sure that it was going to work. And let me just grab this again. And the reason for the size, it was going to be a little bit smaller than this, but the size is I have to be able to get I have to be able to get around here with LEDs. And so I'm not even sure the ones I bought are going to work. But I'll buy smaller ones if I have to and thinner ones. So I've got to get those around. And then this is all the letters are going to be on a board. And so I can run the wires behind it. So I'm going to route slots between the letters and the back. And then the letters will be mounted with a bracket on the front. So they'll be out a ways, and then they'll be backlit from the LEDs. And so all that has to be wired. So I'm going to have a sign, and I'm going to have to wire it all together. And then once I have it all wired together, and I haven't quite figured out how I'm going to light, so these will be black, and then these will be white. So the white letters may just be 2 cob lights on them, where this is backlit and I haven't quite decided, or I may just do like a panel back here to light these. So I've never done a sign like that before, but it's going to be a lot of fun. So the tech table, which is one of the other projects that I've been talking about being potentially in the fall, but I'm doing research already, and that's what I wanted to talk about tonight in the first part. Obviously, if you have any questions about the letters and how I'm going to do it, feel free to ask that in the chat, and I am paying attention to the chat here tonight, and just double checking audio as often as I can. So I'll go ahead and put this up. So it's probably the chat URL. Yeah, it probably is. I don't know why it's not populating. Right now it's working. So I can see Grish's comment. We can hear you pretty far. We can still, so I'm glad you heard me. I went all the way out to the garage, which is on the other side of the front of the house. So, because I forgot to bring that sign with me tonight. And I did say last week I would bring it. So, so I've had a table. I got a Costco table. It is about a 4-foot by 3-foot table. And I really don't want that big table in here unless I'm doing a podcast or I'm doing a special video and I want it. So it's in the garage. It's going to stay in the garage. I still want to be able to bring it in occasionally, but not have it underneath the TV like it used to be up against the wall right here. So if you go back and watch all of my live streams last year, you'll see the wood top on the plastic table because Shannon and I made a top for it. I have a short video here on my channel that shows us sanding it and painting it, but a DIY. So, and I don't do a lot of DIYs on my channel, but I have done a fountain and I have done that particular DIY. And Shannon did all this, the staining. We sanded together. I built it. So what I did is I made a frame and then I put pieces of shelving on top of it. I glued it all together and then stained it, and it turned out really good. So you could bring that plastic table in. You could make it a coffee table height or a bar height because that table's got adjustable legs and it does fold up. Doesn't fold in the middle. I don't like those tables, so it's a solid table. I use them all the time. I have 2 of them. I use them when I'm doing sound for live events. Or if I'm going to go do like an outdoor photography shoot, I can take them as a table with me to put stuff on the table so I'm not stooping up and down. So again, they're really handy. And then I have this nice cover stain that I can put in here. My wife's podcast was shot with that table right here in the middle of my studio. But I didn't want all those soft boxes and all of that above my head. And so I want a tech table that can just pop up in the studio. I don't want to have to go to the garage and haul anything back and forth. I want to be able to pop it up. I want to be able to bring a bar stool in if I need to, or use my office chair. Call this the bat chair. And that would be great. So I just limit the stuff in here. So the goal is to find something that would fold up. And I wanted to stay with the color scheme, but you can see I have kind of butcher block looking table. I need some contrast in here, right? I didn't paint the ceiling. I left it the lighter off-white color. I didn't change the shade. I want some contrast, not just the lights around the TV and the cob lights pointing down on the panels like I have in the studio. And you can see this look. I've got cob lights on the shelves. I have accent lights below the shelves. You can see that. I even have a second light set up here so I can pop over here if I need to. So all of these lights are one thing, but I need contrast, like the color of my sound panels is some contrasting colors, and they kind of set off the middle color of the clock. So I'm really trying to create some diversity inside my studio for obvious reasons. And so having something that would just be somewhere in the studio I can fold up. I don't want it to be under the TV, though. I thought I could put it there. I have a Bose speaker center bar right there. It's about that tall and about that deep, and it sits right below the TV. So I didn't really want anything there over my shoulder. So again, I do kind of blend in the background, but I am working on some hair lights above me. I just don't want to put any traditional lights up there. So the tech table is so if I do get a device like the YOLO Box Extreme that I was sent so I could box it and do videos on it. So no obligation, just that was the agreement. You send it to me. If I like it, I'll do videos. If I don't like it, I'll pay to have it shipped back to their local site in the state of Washington, which is about $100 for me to send it back. But I so wanted to get my hands on it. I was willing. If I couldn't figure it out or I didn't like it, I'd just send it back. But I did, and I did videos here on the channel. And it's in a box in my closet right now. And I am planning on getting it out in the very near future and talking about all the updates in 2026. But with that said, that may be something that I would use on the tech desk. I don't want it on this desk. I want this to be for my consulting. I want this to be for my work that I do. For clients, I wanted this to be for live streaming. I don't want to unplug and move things around. I want this just a functional spot. I want it warm feeling, which it is. And I just want to enjoy it. In fact, let me change camera angles here. And let me turn chat off the air. So I like this feeling. I like the way it feels. I like the light shining down. And this is the Insta360 Link 2 Pro, so it's not the perfect image. I even have a new light set for that. So I can flip the lights a little bit and look into this camera. So with that light on, I like this layout. I like the way it feels. It's still a little cluttered. Over here, I have the Rodecaster video. I have, I think I can give you a side shot of that. Let's do that. Let's do this. So I have the Rodecaster video right here, and then I have the ATEM next to that. Then I have my HyperDeck. I have my Stream Deck on top of that. I've got my Wacom tablet, and then I've got my Rodecaster. I've got my tablet right here with mix effects on it, headphones, and then my other monitor. You can see with this shot right here. So then I got this monitor, and that's got tonight's live stream on it from my PC. So this is my PC and my laptop screen. So I can have my PC and my laptop on the same side now, instead of the way I used to have it with that monitor right here on the wall. Now it's on this wall, and we're using this for the live stream multi-view. So you guys can still see what's happening. It's about the same size because that's a 65-inch TV, and the one that's over my monitor is a 27-inch monitor. And so it was closer. So again, I got rid of a monitor by just using the TV in the shot, and I like that. And I can put my PC up there. So if I wanted to put the PC up there right now, I can just hit a switch behind my desk. It fell down. And actually, no, it didn't fall down. Let me hit the switch. It'll take a second because they're not instantaneous switches. We'll see if this works. Yeah, so my PC pops up there. And so again, it's another monitor for my PC. So I could play games up there if I want to, or I could show my website up there. So there's a lot of things that I can do in this studio, but I don't want to tear things apart. Again, I like the way this feels. It's very comfy, so I really like it. So I've been searching for a solution to be able to have a tech desk. So if I do have something sent, and I was right in the middle of the renovation, I'd already tore the studio down. Shannon and I are getting ready to start trimming out, and I got an email on one of those mornings from a manufacturer asking me if I would be interested in another product, and I emailed them back and said, listen, right now I'm in the middle of a renovation, and I would not be able to give it my attention. And so I postponed that. I've finished my renovation. I sent them another email to see if they're still interested in possibly sending me that device. But at this point, I don't know. I have not heard back from them. And again, I wanted to focus on getting this job done, but I'm not finished. I do want a tech table. So this is one of my ideas and probably my favorite so far. So this is Robi, I guess that's how you pronounce it, R-Y-O-B-I. They make this wall mount, fold up 44 inches by 22 inches. Now, 22 inches includes the shelf, and the shelf stays up there. So I bring my mouse over here. So this shelf stays, and I like that because I need to have some solutions up here. So I may have a really tight rack unit up here. I don't know yet. I might have some cables up here. I might do a wall jack. I haven't decided yet exactly how I would use this, but when it folds up, it's the same level. So the shelf and the desk make up the 44 inches. And so that is what I'm considering doing. And that would go right over here by my PC. And so what I was going to do real quick is let's look at the chat here. I'm going to turn that off and this back on. Let's see, chat on, these off. I was a little bit late tonight, David. I have 2 fiber short HDMI cables that I use on my HyperDeck. So hopefully that answers the question. So what I want to do real quick, and then I want to tell you what Shannon said. I want to do 2 things here. Let's do this first. How do I do this? Let me see if I can get the Road Capture app working. In channel 6, it looks like I can. Okay, let me cut to this. So what I'm thinking, still got my mic working, right? Yep. What I'm thinking, guys, is it would fit right about here. So let me go wide here. So this panel and that panel are about 32 inches apart. So it would go at desk height. So it would be about right here, height, unless I go bar height. If I go bar height, it's going to be more up here. And so it would be able to fold down and be behind these chairs. And I actually like desk height because it would be hidden. And I wouldn't be thinking about it unless I had it out. Plus, it's really close to my PC and close to this monitor, which I would be able to use. This will, you can see it'll fold over. So all of this was designed, and I even have another bracket, this slips in, that I could put over there and move it, but I'd have to have extension cables on that, and I don't really want to do that. So what I'm thinking about is that would be about, again, 32 inches across, and it's 44. So you're going to need to have a little bit of it going into this side and a little bit of it going into that side. And again, I would just cut it into the panels and it would fold up. And you can see I have plenty of space behind the chairs. There's my Bose sub and my background speaker. I still have to buy mounts for those. One's going to go up there in that corner, and then one's going to go up there in that corner. So I want to get your thoughts of what you think is a 44-inch desk large enough. And then I want to mount this key light air up here. And I think I'm going to do another mount. I have this camera right here. This pole is going to go away. And then I can have my background camera right here, which could also be a camera down on my desk. So I haven't put these up yet because I'm still trying to figure it out. The reason I'm doing research right now is I've got to solve this problem. Because where I put those mounts, and I have 3 of these, are going to matter. So I didn't put one over here yet because right now I have a camera over here. So this is the S3 from YoloCam, and it shoots my desk, and I really like that. I want it further back, which it would be if I used this bracket. I can get it further back if I use this bracket. I also have the extensions that I can put on here that I purchased from Elgato. So this is the Elgato wall mount. I unboxed the other one. This one's still in the box. So I have 3 of these total. So 2 already unboxed, and this box, which I haven't even broken the seal yet on, because I might send this back, I don't know yet. But I'm gonna need 2 of them just to do the key light, get that stand off of my desk. And again, I don't need this stand. I want it to go away. I want to mount the Bose speaker up in the corner. I want this to be the camera that goes over on the mount, which should be back there somewhere. And then I also have this camera, Sky Camera, and I want this mounted further back in the studio. So I just haven't decided. I may buy another one of those mounts. So that would need one, that would need one, that would need one. And then I'm going to need a main camera over there. And I was thinking about actually using the S3 as my main camera for the tech table. It's got a great picture. Let's go back to it real quick. It's got a great picture. Nothing wrong with this camera. That's as close to my head as I can get right now because it's hitting the back. And I have the exposure set, but if this is plugged into the YOLO box on the other desk, which I'm actually considering, change the angle of this just a little bit. Let's see, how's it doing now? Let me move my drink. So Little different angle, but you can see the Rodecaster on my desk and you see my ATEM Extreme. So I like that shot. It just is a great shot. So I'm digging it. And so I want to keep that shot, but I might mount it on one of these so I can get it further back, because I don't have the 27-inch monitor mount on that post anymore. And if you don't know, there is a post back there. So this is the post, and I used to have that mount right here. You can see the scars. And that TV was right here. So it folded out, and that 27-inch TV was right here. Now that 27-inch TV is right here. And so I can take this, and I could mount it here. So I could shoot down on my desk. I could mount it here. I just have not decided. And I really don't want it in the shot. So right now I have the S3 on this little stand, and that's the stand it comes with. So you can see that is the YOLO Live S3, and it is a great little webcam. I mean, very good quality and nothing to stick your nose up about. So, and if I had it plugged into the YOLO Cam or the YOLO Box Extreme, and again, I still have it, so we'll see how much longer I have it, then I might use that on the tech table. So I really want your guys' feedback tonight. And I will say that Shannon thinks it's just one more thing and it's going to clutter the studio again. In fact, she didn't say that exactly. She just went, wow, you keep adding things. So what are your thoughts? I would really like to know what you think about that. And then let me show you guys a picture. Let's see, I might be able to do this. Really cool if I could. Now, I guess I'm sending NDI, so I can't do this. So let me send this picture to myself here real quick. Which one? Let's do this one. Dear Keith. Okay, email myself, because I'm going to bring that picture up right here on the screen. So let's go back to this view. Let's open up my email. And there's the picture. So I used a little app called ChatGPT and sent the picture of that wall and asked the picture of the Roby desk. Now that's not exactly how wide it is. And I just, again, I said, add these things to it. I'm just trying to get an idea of the space. And I even thought about going ahead and picking up the box from Home Depot, taking it out and propping it up there. And then if I don't like it, I won't mount it. I could. And then if I don't like it, take it back. But I just want to see what you guys are thinking. That's the idea. It would fold down. And I think I have a picture of it, even though it's not quite what I was hoping for. But I'll send me this picture too here. And we'll go back to this view. And then let me open up this picture. So the chairs are slid forward in this picture. They would go back a little bit further, about another foot. And this is downward perspective. So I'm kind of looking at how I like it. This is not quite wide enough. Again, ChatGPT is not very good at getting the specs right. I'd have to give all the measurements, and I didn't. I just gave it a picture. And so some of the pictures, the Roby desk is oversized, and some of the pictures it's not. But again, I'd love to get your guys' feedback of what you think about that idea. Again, that's just my first choice right now. I'm not quite ready to pull the trigger. I have other things to solve, but I would love to get your all's opinion. So let's see. Table looks good. Cut it in and it blends in. Yeah, I even thought about getting a darker wood from a different manufacturer, but that's got a 300-pound rating, and I like that. So if someone sat down on it, I do want to mount it to studs. And again, I don't know if it's the right distance between the two brackets. Should be. You would think they would use normal US stud distance. This is a 2x6 wall on this side of my house. That's the outside of my house behind my monitor. So, and that's the cool side of the house as well. That's why I like this side of the house. Now it gets hot up there in the morning, but in the evening when it's super hot in the back of the house, I have the coolest room in the house. Cut the tiles for bar height. Yeah, and I thought about cutting, obviously, the sound panels. Those are just foam sound panels. That's a great idea. But I want to know what you guys think about that. Like, would you vote yes? Or would you say no? And I could do a poll. We have a poll right now asking you if you've ever used a Honeycomb grid, which we're going to talk about here in a minute. But I wanted to start with this tech desk. Again, if I get a device or I'm going to do an unboxing or shoot a video, I might do it over there. Yeah, that means that I would be shooting on 2 webcams. So I'm a little on the fence with that. I even thought about having one of those cameras be an Insta360 Luna Ultra. That's a 1-inch sensor, depending on what lens you're using, because one of the sensors I think is a 1/1.3, and that's what the YoloCam S3 is, if I remember correctly. And so I want at least a 1-inch sensor, I think, over there. So I'm on the fence. I also don't have a lot of distance, so it's going to have to be a wide shot to be able to catch me. Now, I will be 44 inches away, plus about another 5 or 6 inches. So that's going to get me about that far away from the camera. So should be a pretty good shot. And that will be the background. Those 2 panels will be the background, which I like that as well. So anyway, love to get your opinion on that. The Elgato wall mount is a variation on the security camera mounts. Use them for mounting side cameras. Great. Gary, how far can a USB cable go distance-wise, or do you add a USB hub in the mix? No, I would have the PC right here next to it. So when I have my cameras over here on my PC, that's the shortest runs I have in my studio. So now this camera right here, where is it? Let's see, is it 3, 1? Yeah. So this camera right here, this is the ObSpot Tiny 3, and I have the remote control in my hand. And I like this shot too. This is a new Skycam view. It's on the Rode stand up on top of my monitor. I guess I should show you guys this. So let's change cameras here. So there is the YoloCam S3, and it's on this Rode stand. And that's my longest USB-C cable run. And that's the one that came with it. So there is the YoloCam. Sorry about the light. I got light right here. So there's the ObSpot Tiny 3. It's a great little camera. And then there's my Batman. I put him up here, and I took down my Michael Jackson hat that I had and glove that was up there. So I probably should be on this microphone when I'm doing that. So there you go. So let's go back and let's change back to the Ozbot Tiny 3. So waving, and then I have 3 programmable buttons. Let's see what button 2 does. There's button 2, so I could zoom down on the desk, and then I could rotate it a little bit, but it's being blocked by my speaker right now. So I'm still playing with these locations, but I like that, even though right now you're seeing my ATEM flicker. And then if I went all the way back, but if I wanted to show someone my lighting setup, this is up nice and high. There is my Canon 5D Mark IV up in the closet. So there's the closet. There's the new shelf. There's some 1x1 tiles up there acoustic tiles I haven't used yet. There's my cob light shining down. And again, I have it tilted funny. That's why it's changing perspective. But so I like that. And I did bring a softbox in tonight. We'll be talking about this here in just a minute. So let me prepare this right here for a little bit, hit P3. And now I've saved a preset. So there's P1, here's P2, and here's P3. So great asset in the studio to have the Ozbot Tiny 3, Insta360 Link 2, Insta360 Link 2 Pro. And then I also have the YoloCam S3 over here that you guys saw earlier. So I have lots of camera angles and I'm loving it. So again, limited by where I can get these cameras to run in my laptop or my PC, but most of the cables are short enough that they work great. So, okay. Gary, the chairs would hide it, so all good. From your picture, maybe a bigger table center on the wall to balance it out. Yeah, I want it exactly centered in that space. So, and the sound panels, so if you kind of look at the line of my PC, if you look at the line of my PC right here, and then you can see the sound panel's behind it, but the clock is centered. So the panel's centered from that distance of the wall, and that distance is about right here. So yeah, I would center it on that wall, and it would fold up behind these chairs, and that should be enough clearance. The shelf would stick out 5 inches, but you can see I have more than 5 inches there right now. So hopefully it works. So one person says they like the idea. Gary says desk, yes. Okay, so I like the new Skycam view. It's good instructor view. The Skycam up there, yeah. So yeah, and I like the old over-the-shoulder view as well. I'm not sure if that's the one that you're talking about, but that's the one that I can turn and look at the Insta360 Link 2 Pro, and you can see my BenQ monitor and stuff in the back. So I want more feedback. So please let me know in the chat if you think I should get that. I'm gonna go in here and end this other poll. So as of right now, how have you ever used a Honeycomb grid for lights? We're gonna shift over to that here in just a minute. We have 13 votes. The yeses are 38% and the noes are 62%. So we're gonna look at some lighting. We're gonna talk about that here shortly. I'm gonna share a new product that's available. So I've already talked about the Roby wall desk. And again, here is the page, me and my laptop. So again, $119. They actually sell it with a stud finder for $139, I think. So you save like $15 on the stud finder. You pay half of it and you get the other half of it free. They have a storage unit you can also package together. I think that's $200. So you get the wall mount desk, you get that that wall mount organizer with some peg stuff that go on it, and then I think there's also a light, a portable Roby light with a battery. So one of those lights that you can twist and turn and look in rooms. So you could buy this desk and get a nice Roby light to use, and that would be really cool for putting in wires in my studio and seeing behind things. So who knows? I might be buying that, but I do really want to know your thoughts. So again, we'll look at Honeycomb grids here in a minute. 30, like I said, 38% of you say you've not, or you have used Honeycomb grids for lights in your studio, Honeycomb grids, and 62% of you say no. Okay, so let's end this poll. If I can, let me full screen shot. Okay, that poll's ended. Let me unpop out chat. Let me start another poll here. Or maybe I still have it going. I don't know. Let's see, close, open. For some reason, I can't start another poll. Let me try on my laptop here. No, I don't know what's going on. Poll is still up. Yeah, I'm having that same issue where I can't get to the closing deal. Where is it? So let me click on the poll. Let me change the size of my screen here. That didn't help. Yeah, I can't seem to close. There we go. Let's see. Yeah, I can't seem to close this poll for whatever reason. Let me try again over here on my laptop or my PC. Find my mouse. There it is. I see no poll over there. Pop out chat again. Probably gonna have to set this all the way back up again. Now I see the poll. Yeah, this is crazy. Like, it is like locked out. Oh, well. I'm not going to spend any more time wrestling with this. I'm just going to leave it up. It's so weird. Obviously, I need to watch some videos on how to close these polls because it's not letting me. Okay, copy, chat. Save. Bring this over. Chat on the air. Good to have you, Tony. Let me get rid of this view here. Tony's joining us, second hour. It's good to have you. I like the Skycam. We've already talked about all of these, and for some reason I can't close the poll. So if you like this idea, let me put this back on my prompter here. If you do like this fold-up desk, again, this is what I'm thinking about for my tech table, right over here underneath my clock, either at bar height or my desk height. And this is the sit-at desk height, which I think that's like 29 or 30 inches. Bar height is higher than that. So I haven't decided yet. I like desk height because when it's folded down, it would hide better. 5 inches of this stays out for the shelf. And then the other of the 22 inches folds out. So 22 minus 5, you do the math. And it holds 300 pounds. And I'm okay with the color because it matches my little round table my light is on over there. Okay, so let me know if you like this idea for my tech table. Obviously, I'll have to do some modifications. I'll have to add a switch or a matrix. Haven't decided yet. And that's where I will be doing a new streaming devices. So let's say, for instance, I just got the Rodecaster Video today. I was unboxing it. I would go to that desk and have everything ready to plug in. So that's what I'd like to do. So I'm thinking about a folding desk so I can make it go away when I'm not using it. So again, tonight, let me know yes for the desk or no, I don't like the desk. Either way, you will not offend me. I want some input tonight. And so I would really appreciate it. So Tony, let me know what you think, and thank you for joining me tonight, or us tonight. Okay, so now I want to do this. I want to make a transition into another topic tonight, and that is this. I have been doing some research, and I discovered a video today, and it's in the description. But they make this, it's called Cut and Etch, and the website's in the description tonight, so you can check it out. But they make, for $101, they make a key light grid. So this is a grid, and there's a number of different types of grids. Let me show you one. So for my lights that I have in my studio, not my studio, for photography, they're Paul C. Buff Einsteins. They're called the 640, and they have the ability to put this grid in. So we'll bring this over so it's on camera. And so obviously this has a lens on it to beef up the light. And so I can turn this on. I won't blind you guys, so let's aim it that way. And this is the kind of flash that also has what they call a model light. So let me turn that back around. So this has a flash and a model light in it. So this will flash, and it will also use the model light. So let's turn it this way. And it says it's ready. So let me just hit the test. So let's flash the back of the room. So here we go. So I just flashed. And then right down here, I can hit this function button, and then I can turn the modeling light on. And so now the modeling light's on, and it floods the room. So you can see on the wall, it floods the whole wall. But watch what happens when I put a honeycomb grid in it. So now I can almost show it to you. Now look at the light. So it gives you control over the light. And so we'll just let that shine over there for a minute. So the reason I'm showing you that is this does the same thing for the key light by Elgato and the key light Air. So they make one for the key light and they make one for the key light Air. It's made by Cut and Etch. And so again, I haven't found a link, Amazon link, but I did put the link to their site in the description. So if you have an Elgato key light or an Elgato key light Air and you want to control the light. Now, my lights add light to my desk, but I don't know if I want that. So I may buy one of these and try it on my main key light, which is right above me. And again, just tonight, I wanted you guys to be able to see all this. So there is my key light. That's my main light for that camera. And that's the main light for that camera. And then I also have the key light Air, and they make a grid for all three. So I will be able to control that light, and people say it's really good light when you control it. It's not just flooding your desk. So it's more intimate. It's going to be a little warmer, less wash on me. So I have one over there, one over there, and one over there, and I can control them with my Stream Deck. So I have this view for that camera. I have this light set up for this other camera over here. So I have this light set up, and then if I decided to use this light right here, I have this setting. And so let me bring that light up, or that camera up. Turn this shot off the air, and then let me just cut to this view. That should be PC. So then I have this lighting set up for that. This still needs to be adjusted a bit, but I wanted it really warm. So this is the way I shot my new welcome video. I was a little higher up in the shot, but again, I like this view as well, and I'm using an Insta360 Link 2 Pro, but I do want to soften these lights coming down on me, so they're not so harsh, because I don't like harsh light. So I really would like to have nice, soft, warm light, and I can adjust the Elgato lights. They're set at 34 Kelvin right now, 3400 Kelvin. I used to have them in the studio at like, I think they were at like 65, and now I've gone to this warm look in my studio. So, you know, you guys tell me if you like it and if you think I should get grids. So again, $101 for that one. Let's see. Let's scroll down. So here's kind of a look at the grid size. That's the side of it. This is kind of a downward look. Again, what it does is it's like a spot. So that extra depth and the grid stops the light from just adding more light to each. So it's like every one of those little grids becomes like a light in itself, and the distance of the grid, the depth creates the spot. So it compresses the light, just like this light behind me right here. This grid compresses the light right there. So you can almost look directly into it because the grid is not letting any of that light hit me. So as I turn it around, I'll show you when the light hits me. Now it's hitting me, and now it's hitting you. So again, I love some of this technology like the grids. So let me show you another grid real quick. This is a grid inside my big softbox. So this just attaches. So it Velcros in and out. And so if you did not have the grid in here, you would just get the softbox. Now there is a lip, so this does keep some of the light from spilling out, but the grid really stops the light from spilling out. And so this used to hang above me in the studio. I don't have these in the studio anymore hanging over my head, but I did bring them tonight because I wanted to show you two samples of grids. Here's one, and that is one. So this is kind of aluminum. It's pretty hot because that light, that Einstein light is a traditional light. It's not an LED, and so that model light gets pretty hot. I can change the temperature of that light as well. So again, if you want to see what your light's going to look like on a model and you want to crop the light down using a Honeycomb grid, and this is really fine. You can see how fine this grid is. So just like you can't see me at an angle, it's cutting out the light. It's also cutting out the light coming into it. So if you wonder how a grid works, you can see how little you have to turn it, and then all of a sudden, none of the light is getting through it. Now the light is over my head, so if I was to go this way, light bleeds in a little quicker. If I go this way, it really crops that light out fast. So this is a great example of what a Honeycomb grid can do to keeping light from bleeding. So having the ability to add Honeycomb grids to a grid to an Elgato key light. Now also in the video, and let me see if I can find that video real quick. Here it is. So it's from Colin Horn. Here's his channel. There's a link in the description. But he is talking about the light, and that's where I found out about the light, is from him. So I'm going to give Colin Horn a shout out. I'd never been to his channel before. I wanted to wait until we were live, so I'm going to hit the subscribe button right now, and I'm going to ring the bell. And if you haven't done that on my channel, please do the same. Now I'll get alerts when Colin does his other videos. He has 1,809 subscribers. So he's back where I was about 3 years ago. So Colin, if you somehow find this video and hear the shout out for you, I should just hashtag you in the description. But thank you so much for doing this video and showing us this new product, because you helped me find a solution for Elgato, and it got pretty good reviews. So again, I don't own one. I can't show you one. I can't unbox it. And I can show you grids that I already own. And I own a number of different grids for different lights. I have the soft ones for soft boxes. I have hard ones that go inside those lenses. I have different grids. So some of them are like 20%, some are 40%. So they really crop the light in, and it's based on depth and how big the honeycombs are. So great technology. It's already got kind of soft layers in the Elgato lights, but they do spread out really wide. And mine are more than an arm length away. They're about, I would say 4 feet away from my body. So it does cast a lot of light over me. So that would give me more direct light on my face. Now this key light's kind of almost straight above the camera. And normally you want your key light a little bit off angle. But I'm just using this key light like this, and I have been for years. So this is what you guys are used to seeing when I'm live. I've just softened up the light, and now I'm at lower Kelvin temperature. And I might as well show you guys that. So here's my Stream Deck layout. So let's go into this button right here, and then we'll click on this arrow right here. I have 16 actions. So if I go in here to temperature, you can see I'm at 34 Kelvin. And it can go all the way up and down. So here is super cool, and here is super warm. That's 2900 Kelvin is as low as it will go. Yellow, that's the golden hour color. So 3000 is kind of what the lights I have in my studio are set at, the new lights, the cob lights. But I liked this at about 34. And I do have two wider lights right above me shining down on the back of my head. They're just regular light bulbs, but I'm using that as kind of a key light right now. And I'm watching the videos back. I have 5 more lights, but I added 12 new lights to my grid, and I don't want to overwhelm it. And I did have to put a new dimmer on this week because I almost burnt the other one up, which is a whole nother story. So again, you can do these changes in the Elgato app for your Stream Deck, or you could use Companion as well if you so desired. So, okay. Let's change this back to chat on the air. And chat on. £300 is awesome. Yeah, and then I didn't want to share this picture here until I had Tony in the chat, because he will particularly like this shot. And we'll send this to me, and I'll open it up here in my email because they're all on my phone. Close that one. Let's open this one. Did I send it? Oh, please wait until the attachment's ready to go. Okay, now it's done. Sorry about this. Here we go. Audio still looks good. Okay, let me click on this. This one in particular, why did that not? Yeah. So I really like what's on that desk. Now this is bigger. There are companies that make them wider. So ChatGPT did this for me, and put the Bamboo Labs X2D up here. I don't know if this is the right specs, but again, whatever ChatGPT throws in there, I'm just really kind of getting a feel for if I like the way this looks or not. So Tony has a new 3D printer, the Bamboo Labs X2D, and I told you guys earlier tonight to go over and subscribe and check out some of his videos. And I want to get a X2D. I think I'm leaning that direction, but I'm still on the fence. And Tony's agreed to come on one of my live streams as a guest, and he and I are going to have that conversation live in front of you all. And we're going to talk about which printer I should get. And again, I'm going to be saving money over the next 2 months. And if it's the X2D, I'll be able to get it sooner. Or if I wait for a nicer, larger printer, I'll say nicer, but again, they all serve their own purpose. If I get a tool head changer from Bamboo Labs, that's going to be a lot more saving. That may be around the holidays before I get that printer. But again, just to give you guys a heads up, so there's lots of things that you can do with lights. In fact, my Einsteins actually have pocket wizards built into them. So that light's on again, and I will turn on my Lightmaster Pro Sekonic light meter. So on button. And if you never use a light meter, this is so you can see what the real light is on you. what your exposure is. So you can actually use a light meter to know exactly what you should have your ISO set at, your shutter speed, your film speed, all of that from one of these. But right now I have it on underexposed. But if I click on this little icon on the top here, it lets me change the settings for 3 different lights. So I have 3 Einsteins, only one of them in the studio. So I can raise and lower the flash on this. And then I should be able to click this button. See, is this gonna work? Back to the menu. And it's not flashing. I'm not sure what's going on, but I haven't used these in a while. I'm actually thinking about selling my Einsteins. They're only going for about, I think I almost paid $600 for them, almost $700 with the Pocket Wizard. And the Pocket Wizard receiver or transmitter, it plugs in right here. So it's plugged in. Let me bring this closer to the camera. So that's the Pocket Wizard transmitter right there. And I like these lights because I can go in here and if I want, I can turn the model light off and just use the flash. And again, there's the flash. I don't know why my Sekonic is not working with it, but this is the Pocket Wizard model. So it gives you that ability. Usually when you click measure, it works, it flashes, but it's not right now for whatever reason. And yeah, I don't know why it's not flashing, but let me turn this off and back on again real quick. Yeah, it was working earlier, but now for some reason it's not working. So these have been in a Rubbermaid tub for a while. I haven't done headshots in a while, but if you do want to do video production or you want to do photography, like with flashes, you can use a Sekonic light meter, the Pocket Wizard version, and you can use it with flashes like these Einsteins. Now, this is older technology. They have newer lights out now, but back when I bought them, I invested, counting this, about $2,000 plus soft boxes as well. So big investment, and that was for me to be able to do some corporate photography. I don't do much of that anymore, but I do still have the Einstein flashes. And I don't know that $200, $250 a piece is really worth it for me to sell them, so I may hang on to them. You never know when I might get a gig that will make me more money, 1 gig, than what I would get out of the lights. So Shannon and I are trying to figure out how to downsize, and I can't downsize if I keep buying stuff. So it's 5:30. I don't want to keep us here tonight forever, but if you have any questions about light meters, I'd be happy to answer them. So if I get out of this screen, back to the main menu, and I get out of flash mode, and go to HD mode, this would be the mode that I would be using to set up a talking head video or a commercial and check all my lights. And the way you use a light meter is you have more of a spot metering, or you have more of a, when the ball's out, you can bring the ball in and out. It's just like the soft boxes with a grid on it. This becomes less light spilling in from other lights in your shot, like windows. So if you just want to see what the light's doing, you hold this up next to the talent's head and then you hit measure. So let's go ahead and measure. Let me set my ISO here. I'm going to set my ISO to 200 and cool. So now I'm going to take a reading and it says that I should be at 200 ISO at 60 frames per second and at a f-stop of 9. So that means it's a little hot in these lights. So let me turn my ISO down. And then I can just adjust my ISO. Now I need to be at 6.3. And I can change the way this is reading. So I could change the shutter speed and it would tell me, or I could change my ISO up and down. But again, if I want motion blur, I would then do a setting where I can keep my aperture exactly where I want it and then change the shutter speed to get the right exposure. But a light meter lets you do a lot of things. This will also read color temperature of light. It will also fire up to 3 pocket wizards. So why would you want to be able to control 3 flashes? One would be your main flash, the other one would be a fill flash, and then maybe a hair light. Or maybe you want to do like a beauty disc or something underneath a model's chin. Or maybe you want to have a big group of people and set up all 3 flashes, or put big umbrellas. Like for a whole wedding party, I have giant umbrellas that I can plug into these flashes. So I could have 2 umbrellas to shoot a bunch of people. And why would you want to do that? Well, let's say you wanted a perfect exposure on the water behind the people. Well, I got to get a flash bright enough to light them correctly. So the beach, the sky is perfectly lit by the light that's already there. And then my subject is lit by the flashes. So sometimes you need 3 flashes. You could also use flashes like these Einsteins for real estate photography. They're very powerful flashes, the Einstein 640 and the Pocket Wizard attachment. And so this is what the Pocket Wizard looks like. It's got these little prongs that plug in, and it's got a cap to protect them. And so these just go inside the case with my Einsteins, and then I get them out to plug them in. And again, I haven't used this light meter in so long. I am probably not doing one setting right. And now I'm curious. So when we get done tonight, I'll be watching videos again on how to use this, because it's been a couple years since I've shot any portraits with my Einsteins remote controlling them, because I don't want to go to the back of each light, which I can set everything from the back. But if I just want to run around with my light meter and check the light on the model's back for the hair light, the side light, and then the key light, then I can make quick adjustments. I can also take out my spot meter. There we go. I also bought this attachment, and you use this. Uh-oh. That landed on the fade to black button. So this will come out. And this will go in. And now you have a spot meter. So I can get an exact readout on the mountainside, the exposure of the clouds. I could be 100 yards away from my model and I can see exactly, get a reading on the light on her skin. So having that attachment is really important as well. You have to be up close with this one. And again, it has two settings. The ball out to read all the ambient light, or the ball in to get more directional light, like right back at the camera, so I can get a reading of what the camera's seeing. But if I'm behind the camera and I'm doing landscape photography or doing real estate photography, and I want to make sure I can see right into the windows from outside, I can actually use this spot meter to see what the exposure is on the windows. And again, you can use flashes to add light outside. You could use flashes inside to add light when you're outside. And I could remotely fire my flashes one inside the house with this light meter as well. So it's a really cool device. I think this is like $450 retail. Let me take this back off here. Put this back on. There we go. And again, it screws out and it screws in. So love the light meter. It is a video production photography tool that if you want to be professional, you must have one. Just like an electrician's going to have meters to read electrical, see what things are going on, different tools that you need. This is one of the tools, and flashes like the Einstein. Now you can use regular Sony or Canon flashes. They're just not as powerful. So for outdoor photography and large groups of people or large venues, I can use my big umbrellas and my Einsteins to shoot and light up a whole room. So really giving you the ability to take your photography to the next level. Now I could also use the modeling lights as a backup for a film set, because again, they got the model light, so I could turn that all the way up and use that as well, and then use those Einsteins to snap some pictures. And now I've got perfect exposure because I've already set the exposure on all three of the model lights on all three of the Einsteins. So again, really cool. Now there's different brightness of lights you can put in the Einsteins. So again, keep that in mind. I have extra bulbs. I have different wattage of the bulbs because I was using them for video production as well as photography. And you want the bigger bulbs for outside, and you want the smaller bulbs for inside shoots. And I can adjust how bright the lights go on the Einsteins by changing the bulbs. So things like getting the X2D printer for my channel, having a tech desk to be able to actually have it in the studio. So it would be sitting right there behind me. So if I change to this camera angle and then back to this one, you would be able to see that printer right there in this shot if I had it in the studio. Now, Shannon gave her input on the fold down desk, and she thinks I'm just adding too much to the studio, but I'd love to get your feedback on the desk, and I see some of that right now. So let's go ahead and bring those into tonight's chat on the air, and let's go ahead and click on some of these. So Gary says yes. Let me look in here. I'm sure the chat is not up to snuff here. So I'm going to go on my YouTube channel here and check out the chat. Let's just pop it out and see what's going on here. Yeah, got some comments from Tony here that aren't coming in. So let me fix this again. I don't know what's going on with Aaron Precky's chat plugin, but it is not working correctly again for the third week. So, but we will fix it here. I'm getting really good at this because I'm having a lot of live practice. Chat. Okay. Let's see here. Griff says, I like the new Skycam view. He said that earlier. Tony said, hi. I like the fold away concept and the butcher block look. Plus rated for 300 pounds is awesome. One of these days, that will be an actual X2D, not an AI rendering. Yeah, if Tony, if we have that live conversation and the jury comes in and people throw in their ideas and their opinions, and I share kind of what I want to print. And a lot of what I'm going to print, Tony, is things for the studio, different stands, different things like that. I want to design some products. I may make my own grids. Who knows? It'd be nice to have something at Life Journey Productions to sell. Who knows? I do a lot of my business now inside the studio. Probably 90% of it is now consulting. I would like to do some more outdoor events. So I am kind of firing up my website. I have a new welcome video that will be up on my website. And then I'm also going to do a series of short videos under 1 minute on my website that talk about different projects that I'm capable of helping people with. And again, Life Journey Productions is really about us coming alongside you. So if you're trying to build a studio at home or you want to renovate and you want to take advantage of my 1 free hour consult, then I'll be on a 1 hour Zoom call with you. If you've never taken advantage of that, I'd be happy to do that Zoom call with you. And again, that's what my new video covers. But you would just go to my website and there's a link in the description. You click on my contact page, you scroll down and you fill out this form, name, first and last, email. If you're local inside a 30-mile, 20-mile radius, approximately, I would want a phone number. I don't need a phone number mainly to set up a Zoom call. I would just need an email. And then you write down here, free 1 hour consult. Or if you want to join our quarterly Zoom town hall, and meet other people from the channel, then you would put, sign me up for the next town hall right here. If you already have my email, then just send me, when I start announcing my next town hall, which is about a month and a half away, then just send me, Keith, I want to be in the town hall, and I'll send you the Zoom link for that particular night. So not only am I going to talk about that, but let's just look at the website here real quick. On my homepage, I have learned to live stream. I took this picture myself of Bigfoot in Newport, Washington. So learn to live stream. I have some of the videos I've done. This is an interview that I shot. This is actually Shannon's mom and one of my clients right now. She's been on a live stream with me before. That's Grace Matus. My wife Shannon and my father-in-law, they have both deceased. Shannon's dad and Shannon's mom both have passed away. This is the house next door. I shot this promo video for her home care taker, which was Grace and her team, and we did a video. So shot a whole production, took us half a day. I edited it, and it's up on their YouTube channel. So here's all of my videos, not counting tonight. It'll be in here later. So they populate right here. Here's some more projects. Here's that Jason Krantz interview that I did right here. That was really cool. I think this is the video where I was in Las Vegas. This is a promo video I did for a local dealership down in Oregon. Here's a picture of that shoot. Here I am using a softbox. Here I am using a hair light. And so you can see me at work right there. I was really skinny, as you can tell by the beached whale in this photograph. And then also about me right here. This is my wife's podcast that we used to shoot on that table we talked about earlier. This is a commercial that I shot up in Idaho. There's another shot from that commercial I shot up in Idaho. Here is a Zoom live event I did for my wife. And you can see multiple lights, multiple camera angles. Here's the soft boxes that used to hang in the studio. This is what the studio used to look like. And then here is me doing live sound right here event sound. And so there's lots of information on my channel. So I have blogs in here. This is a old still from my old welcome video, but here's some blogs I've done in the past. And then resources is a page I have in here. Talks about launching. Here's some shots at that dealership, that car dealership. Here's some green screen work I did, and some photo shoots that I did. And there's my green screen in my garage. And then that was with my son as the talent. And so again, lots of stuff here. You can learn more about photo samples. And here's another page. And again, all of this is changing. This is actually shots from my old studio in the bedroom here in the house. So this is the welcome video that I'm actually ready to update. I just need to upload it. It's been edited. So anyway, so again, trying to rebuild, rethink, promoting my business locally. And so that's kind of why I'm not sure I'm going to get rid of the Einstein lights. I just need to get doing some more product shots. I need to do more headshots. I need to do more model shots. I need to do more talking head videos. Need to do more interviews. I have a friend that wants to shoot, do a podcast with me. So who knows? I might be doing a lot of stuff in the very near future. Time will tell. So again, let me know your thoughts on that fold-up desk. If you say yes to the wall mount desk, please put that in the chat. And again, earlier, Gary said yes. So cool. Okay, let me look at the chat again. Yeah, Tony's comment is the last one I see in the chat. So guys, that's all I have for tonight. We will be live next week, but I will not be live the week after. We have a trip planned, and so I will be taking some footage on that trip. We'll be gone I'll go live next Tuesday, and then I'm going to be later that week out of the area, and I will not be back to do a live stream on Tuesday, and I'm not going to try to do a live while I'm on a mini vacation. We're taking our e-bikes with us. I woke up about 4-5 days ago, and my phone gave me an alert on my Segway app that I now had automatic transmission. So my bike, I've done 3 rides now on it, and it shifts automatically. It's always had an electronic transmission, an automatic derailleur, but it wasn't set to just automatically change. So now it senses when I go up a hill, it shifts for me, and I'm absolutely loving it. So that was a surprise on my e-bike. It's the Segway Mayan. So look it up. It's a great bike. It's on sale right now. They're doing a special. So if you want to get a really good e-bike, then check out Segway. Pretty cool. My son-in-law, Joel, just purchased one of their scooters. So I want to shoot a little video with him and I out on his Segway scooter. I think it does like 30 miles an hour. It's crazy, and it's huge. He said it weighs like 150 pounds. My Segway bike weighs 75, so it's double the weight of my Segway Mayan bike, and it's got twice as big charger, and his is not working right now, so they're sending him a replacement. But again, I'm going to take those bikes with us on our trip, and hopefully I'll get a chance to maybe shoot some B-roll with my son-in-law and show you guys actually out shifting with no hands on my e-bike, which is really cool. So again, just one of the things that I'm enjoying doing. And like Tony said, very soon, hopefully there is going to be a 3D printer in my studio. That will be a lot of fun. Who knows? We might print something live someday. So we'll see. So, well, that's all I have, guys. We've talked about the Honeycomb grid that you can get for the Elgato Key Light and Key Light Air. It's not inexpensive, but again, if you want to get that light more centralized and not just have it flooding your desk, then you can use a grid like that. he in his video said they were talking, I think, about, where is it? Let me find it again. He was talking about some inserts that were going to be available for this, but you can see some other reviews, materials. I don't see any accessories for it, but you can see the light angle right here. Here's without it, and here's with it. And these are not increasing in size. Yeah, there they go. So that's with the grid. That's how wide the light is, and that's without it. So you can see why I want to add those to my studio, so I can get a little bit more control with those lights. So we talked about honeycomb grids. We talked about that. One last thing I wanted to do is give you guys an update in the studio, as I promised. So let's do this right now. Let me minimize YouTube. You get back into this app. I'm relaunching this app. And let's do picture in picture here, so I stay in the shot. So that is input number 2. So let me change this super source. Input number 2 is now going to be this. Okay, so I have added my Elgato light strip up here. That was not up last week. I've done some switches. So believe it or not, I still have my old archaic switches right here that turn things on and off in my studio, my cameras, all that stuff. Lights, lots and lots of remote controls. You can see how many remote controls I have over here. I installed these. These are for LED lights, and this grid slides out, and I have these now installed right there. So there's one, and there is the other one. It cleans up those lights. Even though I do have a section out right there, I need to replace it. So I'm going to replace those LED lights. And they're not going to the soft light color, so I need to rewire those. But I wanted to get those up tonight. I also added that Elgato light strip right there again. Seriously. Sorry about that. So I'll try that again. There are those new covers right there and right there. Sorry about the audio. That one's been on the rack, but I added this one right here. And then I also have one down there. So I got that light. I added that light. So I added the light on the bottom of the table, and I added that light right there underneath that. And I added these lights through that strip. So they're now inside that run right there as well. Then I've got one of my portable lights to give Batman some red. And then I added this light above my head. And that aims down. So just wanted to use it, put it up there, and I can change colors on those lights with this app. So I will open this up. Not sure I've ever done this before where you guys can see my whole laptop. So if I go in here, here's the light strips. And so I have them set for a color, but this is the Pro. You can see it says Pro right there. Let's switch. So I can go in here and change the settings under the Pros, and that I do right here. And I can change add more colors to it, but I'm not going to change those tonight. So these have been added. I added some light strips. I've added more switches. I've hid some cables in the studio. I cleaned up this area back here. I cleaned this up more. You can see a little close up. I added that little piece, that piece was there. I added this little piece. I added this white down here. I'm just hiding those cables. I am going to do LumaCube down here. So it's going to look more like that up there once I get the LumaCube. And I did a video on LumaCube a couple weeks ago. So this is just exposed cob lights, and they're in these little plastic brackets that's on my finger that hold them in place. There's one there, one there, one there, one there. Same with those lights right there and those lights up there. I'm using those little plastic stick-on clips, but I want to add LumaCube up there. I had a little strip of lights that came down right there. I took them out and cut them. And I've been messing with my lights overhead and adjusting those. And anyway, lots of work happened in the studio. Here's a quick look around the studio again tonight. Sorry about that. Look around the studio again tonight. I've added these lights down here, these little hiding white deals, and a painted one right there. And I want to do some more light around my Batmobile. Haven't decided what I'm going to do with that. And I've got lights down there, lights over there added. And then again, those lights underneath the shelf had been put in those little strip holders. So lots of cool things happening. So all the way around the tracks. And then I've got my Batman on the shelf. And it looks pretty clean. When you look at, I don't have bars hanging down anymore. It's just a really nice, to get things more organized, hiding cables. I do have a couple more of these sound panels, guys, that I want to put up. Let me grab them real quick. Grab one. Oh. Let me go back. So I do want to finish this right here all the way over, and I want to finish this going down. And I have plenty of these. I just haven't done that yet. So lots of little things to do still in the studio. And sorry about the audio. I have to remember to change to the wireless camera when I turn around and I'm not using the SM7B like I am right now. And I just like the sound of it. But at least I didn't have the batteries go dead tonight in my wireless Go 2 like it did last week. So, and then obviously I have to put these up. One of my biggest holdups as we wrap up tonight in buying anything else is that's less money for my Bamboo Labs printer. So as much as I do want to get at least one of those Honeycomb grids, it's $100 plus whatever the shipping and tax is going to be. So again, that's just less money in my business that I can put towards my X2D. And it really is going to be an addition to my business so I can print things that I might need. And if I do any more outdoor events, then I may have some of those things being used at those outdoor events. So we'll see. Well, I will be back again next Tuesday. Watch my channel for my new welcome video, which is shot right here on the Insta360 Link 2 Pro webcam. And audio obviously is from my Rodecaster video. And again, tonight I'm going from my Rodecaster Pro 2 into my Rodecaster video via USB-C. My Rodecaster Video is then feeding that audio back in through HDMI, and that is coming in. Let's bring this over just so you guys can see it. That is coming in right there. So you can see Rodecaster 1 is coming into tonight's live stream, and that's where we're getting the audio. I'm not using mic 1 and 2 tonight. I'm only using the Rode, which is really cool to have that better audio, because it does have better audio doing it that way than going from the back of the Rodecaster Pro 2, which has a right and left out, that going into the 3.5 jacks in the back of the ATEM Mini. Those preamps are not near as nice as all of the preamps and the sound coming out of a Rodecaster Video or a Rodecaster Pro 2 or Rodecaster Pro Duo or the Rodecaster Video S or the Rodecaster Video Core. All of those have great sounding audio, again, but be careful, because once you get away from the Rodecaster Video, you start losing things like those two outputs on the back. You have headphone outs 1 and 2, but you do not have right and left audio out of the back of the Rodecaster Video S or the Rodecaster Video Core. So you either have to use a headphone jack, or you have to buy a Rodecaster Video if you want to have in-studio speakers and be able to use the headphones. So I can't wait till Rode actually adds what they have available for anybody who owns the Core. You can combine the Rodecaster Video Core with the Rodecaster Pro 2 or the Rodecaster Pro or Rodecaster Duo, and you can get all of those mic inputs. So Rodecaster Pro 2 has 4 plus the 2 in the core, and the Rodecaster S has 2 plus the 2 in the core, or being the Rodecaster Duo has 2 plus the 2 in the core, so that's 4. They haven't linked up yet for a Rodecaster Pro 2 and the Rodecaster Video, or the Rodecaster Video S, or the Rodecaster Duo and the Rodecaster Video, or the Rodecaster Video S. And there's still this crazy rumor floating around that I couldn't verify, even using ChatGPT, that there might be someday a firmware coming out for the Rodecaster Video that will enable 4K up to 4 channels. But I don't know if that's true, but it seems like there was a conversation that happened between Rode representatives at NAB 2026 in Las Vegas and people that were there visiting the Rode booth. One of those people, I think, was Aaron Precki, that they actually said that they are working on a potential firmware update, but who knows if they will ever do that. And it might just be a crazy rumor that someone was talking about how they wanted to somehow see if they could turn the Rodecaster Video into a 4K streaming device. Okay. The last thing I wanted to do tonight is there a device that I've had in the studio that you would like to see me go live from again? I'm live from the ATEM Extreme ISO tonight. Would you like me to go live from the Rodecaster Video? Would you like me to go live from the YOLObox Extreme? Would you like me to go live some Tuesday from my smartphone? Let me know in the comments, either tonight live or later when you've watched this video. So again, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I hope this conversation's been interesting to you. I am looking forward to figuring out a date for Tony to join me so we can talk about bamboo printers that would be the right printer for me. That'll just be one of the things we talk about that tonight or that night, but it will be something I'm going to really I am really looking forward to. So we've held off having that conversation because we're going to do that conversation live, and I think that will be quite fun because Tony's had a X2D for a while now, so he has lots of input about that device and how it's working for him. So I'm Keith. This is Life Journey Production Studios. Thank you for hitting the like button. Thank you for subscribing if you haven't already. Thank you for your support on the channel. And thank you especially for those of you that joined me live. Have a great week. I will see you back here next Tuesday, live at 4 o'clock Pacific Daylight Time. I hope you'll join me then. Until then, be safe and have fun.